believe that in every winning there is some losing, and in every losing there is some winning.
In the end, we did win our case. And even though we didn't end up going to trial and we settled, Unical had to pay a lot of money to compensate our clients. And that notion of compensation is making up for what you did wrong. And that was really important. And so our clients were really happy and we were really happy. And of course, they were thrilled with the outcome. But at the same time, many of them felt like it's not necessarily justice. Because, for example, Jane Doe 1, said to me, this doesn't bring back my dead baby. No amount of money can bring back my dead baby or can restore someone's dignity who's been enslaved or raped. And so our system of justice, which is paying money for something that you did wrong, only goes so far. And so when we think about winning, we have to think about the impact it had on our clients. And our clients felt so powerful that by telling their story and showing up to face off against this company, that helped them exercise their power. It gave them agency. It gave them voice. It made them visible. And in the end, that was justice for them.
Because of our case, human rights situation on ground changed and improved significantly. Corporations know they're being watched, so they cannot do the way they used to do. And also, when the villager flee from their village, they are losing. But after they use the law and fight on the court, and they are winning, and the news around the world make people to realize that we can fight and we can win and be corporation. Our clients are very happy, and they're very proud of themselves. Because of them, because of the way that they fight, because of they be corporation, that's where many people are suffer less because of them, and they are really happy, and that is a winning for me. And to see them, they are smile and proud of themselves is a winning for me.
Law and the courts by themselves can change very little. You can win a very important judgment, but if there is not people to take that judgment and then use it to demand that with the authority of the courts, the government should build houses or build clinics or build schools. If the people aren't there, then the judgment just remains stuck on the paper. I give the example in South Africa that we had a really important case in the year 2000. It was called the courtroom case. And the judge made really important statements about the constitutional right to housing and the duty of the state to make sure that people whose needs were most urgent for housing were given housing by the state. But although lawyers won that judgment, although human rights lawyers in fact won that judgment, there wasn't a movement to take it forward. And so consequently, 20 years later, literally, there is still massive homelessness in South Africa.
I've come to think deeply about what it means to win a court case and its relationship to winning a struggle for the most basic human rights. Look at the Save Narmada movement. It initiated a major national discussion on the viability of dams and the kind of development model that's best suited for India. It mobilized tens of thousands of people from the villages themselves, but also across the country and even the world, into one of the most creative and enduring mass movements of the era, a movement that has thrived from the mid-80s until today. But last year, in September 2019, the current Prime Minister Narendra Modi was turning 65 to show his powers, despite the fact that the rehabilitation is not done, despite the fact that people do not have an alternative livelihood, and despite the fact that people do not have an alternative housing. He decided to fill the dam and people lost everything, the standing crops, their houses, and everything that they had for generations. How do you think of victory in that context?
Litigation can be a form of resistance that breathes confidence and resilience into a movement. Even though we often know we're unlikely to succeed in formal terms, CCR frequently challenges officials engaged in torture and the war on terror, or unlawful, but rarely judicially remediable military actions in places like Central America or Pakistan or Yemen, or may even challenge a company moving its factory out of a Midwestern city dependent on it. We did the last on behalf of a community in Youngstown, Ohio, on the theory that the community has a property interest in the company. We certainly did not expect to win, but we wanted to model confrontation, resilience, and demand.
The strategies that we are developing is strategies where litigation is just one side of the case, but the other important side of the case is using the possibilities with the communities that are being affected to be supportive to them and also to make stronger their mechanisms of decision making. The other element is supporting communities affected by transnational corporations and also the lack of guarantees from the Mexican government. It is very important for communities affected by these two actors to understand the power. Understand that they will be facing not only the lack of guarantee from the government, but also the power of a transnational corporation. And the best way to face the power of these two actors is understanding their rights, which is not necessarily understanding the technicalities of law, but understanding the political content of the rights. In that perspective, also understanding how law could be a powerful tool for creating time and also for creating evidence about the violations that they are suffering. Having success is a different approach. In our experience, building the possibility to fight against injustice through the legal strategy, but also through the internal organizing of the community, if we are able to maintain the case, if we are able to give hope to the community and to people that are affected by different actors, that could be a sign of success.
The journey towards justice does not end with courtroom victory. Movement lawyers must look beyond the confines of law to comprehend what a shift of power may mean to each client. You can lose the case but win the struggle if your client has more power at the end of it.
I think in everything that we do, especially as human beings, when you file a case or when you are on a case, what we always expect is to win that case. But many are the times that people do not understand or are not clear on how to define winning. But winning comes in a different way with different people. Some people look at winning as when the court says you have won and you are the winner. But to me as an individual, and this is the spirit I always plant in my community, most of the time the ruling does not matter. It is how courageous has my community been to be able to go to court, to be able to share their experiences, to show their faces as human beings, to tell their stories within a court. Then that is what makes a win for me as an individual and for us as a community that has been violated and discriminated for quite a long time.